First, let me say this. It is very clear that those who are using this term to describe what's happening in the Xinjiang province are just using it as a political blackmail against China. However, this is outrageous and it's disrespectful of the true victims of genocide, like the victims of the Armenian genocide. Merely having the temerity of describing all the efforts that the Chinese government is doing in Xinjiang to build up the economy there, to offer employment, re-education, investment, infrastructure, trying to even educate, even on the religious aspects of the enlightened, moderate aspect of Islam to the people in Xinjiang. And you compare this to the horrible genocides that took place in history, I think this reflects the mentality of the Western powers, their false sense of superiority. They believe that they are better than anyone. They can commit crimes against humanity across the globe. And yet, with all the sincere efforts that the Chinese government is doing in the Xinjiang province, they have the temerity of describing it as a genocide.
Word of human rights, genocide, they are interesting slogans. I think they are using as a scapegoat. They are hypocrites. Look at their history. For example, in the United States, the genocide happened in the United States, not everywhere. You know, the Indians there. So we know the history. And who was supporting the apartheid in Africa?
The Dutch?
Yes, the Dutch. And now the Canadian, you know, the people there in Eskimos, they were genocide by the Canadians. Look at even Australian, aboriginal. Where are they? We know the history. I suggest them to go back and look at their history. And you saw the genocide happen, for example, in China, in Iran. Where? I suggest them to look at their history, and they are hypocrites. They are using this kind of human rights or genocides or other things, use this for their providing a system of the policy which oppress the other people.
The countries that were established on the premise of genocide, like the United States of America, Canada, Australia, and of course Britain and England, that actually sent the forces that committed the genocide at one historical juncture, are the countries that try to point their fingers at others and say, no, not only us, other people, other nations are committing genocide. But as I said, this is outrageous. Instead of looking at your own crimes, you are creating and inventing crimes about the others. Now there is this media onslaught against China. Believe me, it has nothing to do with the Xinjiang province. It has nothing to do with Hong Kong. It has nothing to do with COVID-19. The reason the Western countries are so angry about China, and they are doing everything possible to tarnish the image of China, is that because China is a successful model that is an alternative model to their wild capitalistic model. They cannot accept the idea that another nation can follow its own path and evolve, develop, and become a powerful and affluent country. As long as China is successful, they will do everything possible to demonize and vilify China. Whatever you do, whatever you try to explain to the world, come and look at the situation in Xinjiang, come and understand the actual situation in Hong Kong. Look at our spectacular success in dealing with the COVID-19 virus. They don't care. It's not really about these things. It's about the core issue. Why is China successful and why is China moving forward? They dislike this. The countries that criticize China for its alleged human rights abuses are practicing human rights abuse on a large scale in Syria. This is really an ugly hypocrisy. In my country today, the Western powers, particularly the United States, France, and England, are preventing the Syrian people from buying food and medicine, even in the COVID epidemic, when we really needed to buy ventilators and medicine and vaccine because of the sanctions.
Yes, that reminds me of what your late foreign minister Mr. Malam used to say that the economic sanctions equals the economic terrorism.
Yes, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. This is economic
make him
terrorism.
rest in peace.
And if, God forbids, it continues and continues and continues, it will lead to economic genocide.
We have also the problem of the sanction. We cannot provide even the medicine for our people, you know. We have money, we want to pay, we want to buy, but they say, they're hypocrite. They said, okay, the medical or the medicine is not under sanction, but they close the banking channel. So if you want to buy, for example, from Switzerland, you want to buy a medicine, you cannot.
You cannot pay.
So it's a genocide.
I think since last year, there's dozens of companies in Xinjiang are being sanctioned as well.
I don't remember in my mind even one case in history, modern history, when the policy of sanction bring the positive results. Just negative. When the policy of sanction just have a huge influence on the social level of the population, not more.